Hello friends, in this video we will understand the Income Tax Act 2025 which has been recently notified. So let's begin our presentation. So friends, let's understand the journey of the new Income Tax Act 2025 or how it has been came into force. So on 11 August 2025 it was passed by Lok Sabha. Subsequently it was approved by Rajya Sabha on August 12, 2025, and finally it got presidential assent on August 21st, 2025. To avoid any kind of chaotic situation to introduce in between the years, effective date has been put for implementation of this Income Tax Act is April 1st, 2026. Let's understand the key changes and the simplification under the new act. Structurally, the new act reduces the number of sections from 819 to 536, removing so many redundancy and so many repeated sections, and which helps the reader to understand and retain the provision in a better way. Terminology, they introduce the concept of the tax year, removing the confusion between the previous and the assessment year, which used to be there in the earlier act, and the simplification of the ITR form for the small business, or I would say the MSME sector. We can understand now a few changes for the salaried individual. As you can see, the standard deduction has been increased up to 75,000 rupees. House property, so they retain the same provision of the standard deduction of 30%. Apart from it, they also allowed the deduction for the pre-construction interest on all the properties. And with the introduction of the higher tax rebate, now the individual who is earning a salary, or I would say the income up to 12 lakh 75,000, there is a nil tax liability. So the other provisions are: the new law introduced the simplify loss set off and carry forward rules for the LLP. Now the TDS provisions, which were scattered into the multiple tables and the returns, now consolidate into the three tables for the better clarity, and the framework for obtaining the nil or lower TDS certificate has been restored. Now the donations, anonymous donation for religious cum charitable trust are exempt from a flat 30% tax. This is the slab rate under the new tax regime, which is the default one. And you can see on the screen, this slab started from the 4 lakh and the tax rate is nil. Now subsequently the 4 to 8 lakh, 8 to 12 lakh, 12 to 16, 20, 24 and above 24, and the respective rates are given as you can see on the screen. There is also old tax regime which is also in the existence. Now it is an optional one, and as you can see there are the three categorizations under the different slab rate. So the people who are below the age of 60, the people who are age of 60 up to 80 years and above 80, and this slab rate start from the 2,50,000, and there is a nil tax rate, and the tax rate applicable which is started from 2,50,000 to 3 lakh 5%, and again for the remaining 5%, and then subsequently has been increased. So this is a brief synopsis, or I would say the overview of the new Income Tax Act. Since the changes are not much with respect to the law, and as I said in the beginning of the video, the emphasis is much more on the simplification of the process. So there is hardly, I would say, the change in the interpretation or the way we understand the Income Tax Act, but definitely we have to remember the section because there is a change. uh, Suppose if return used to be filed under section 139, so there is a different provision under the new Income Tax Act. These kind of difficulties may arise for the professionals, but overall the theme is remain the same apart from the simplification. Thank you for watching this video.